Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame and put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, it just won't last. You love the way I look at you while taking pleasure in the awful things you put me through. You take away if I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you live. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you live. You want someone to have like you. You live what you live. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you live. You love the things I say I'll do. The way I hurt myself again just to get back at you. You take away when I give in. My life, my pride is broken. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you live. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you live. You want someone to have like you. You live what you live. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you live.
Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, you just won't last.
You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you live. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you live. You want someone to have like you. You live what you live. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you live. You like to think you're never wrong. You live what you live. You have to act like you're someone. You live what you live. You want someone to have like you. You live what you live. You wanna share what you've been through. You live what you live. This is my December. This is my time of the year. This is my December. This is all so clear. This is my December. This is my snow-covered home. This is my December. This is me alone.
Just wish that I didn't feel like there was something I missed. Take back all the things I said to make you feel like that. This is my time of the year. This is my December. This is all so clear. Give it all away, just to have somewhere to go to. Give it all away, to have someone to come home to. Give it all away, just to have somewhere to go to. Give it all away, to have someone to come home to. There's something inside me that pulls beneath the surface, consuming, confusing. This lack of self-control I fear is never ending, controlling. I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Not a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in my skin, these wounds they will not heal. Fear is how I fall, confusing what is real. Discomfort endlessly has pulled itself upon me, distracting, reacting. Against my will I stand beside my own reflection. It's haunting how I can't seem to find myself again. My walls are closing in.
Not a sense of confidence. I'm convinced that there's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure. Crawling in
Your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide. There was nothing in sight but memories left abandoned. There was nowhere to hide, the ashes fell like snow, and the ground caved in between where we were standing. And your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes across this new divide. In every loss, in every lie, in every truth that you deny, and each regret and each goodbye was a mistake to break too high. And your voice was all I heard, that I get what I deserve. So give me reason to prove me wrong, to wash this memory clean. Let the thoughts cross the distance in your eyes. Give me reason to fill this hole, connect the space between. Let it be enough to reach the truth that lies across this new divide. Across this new divide. Across this new
Hey yo, when this first started off, it was just Linkin Park. And then in the middle came Motion Man. And at the end of it all, it was Cut Master Kurt with a remix. One thing, I don't know why, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme when I was obsessed with time. All I know, time was just slipping away, and I watched it count down till the end of the day. Watched it watch me, and the words that I say, the echo of the clock rhythm in my veins. I know that I didn't look out below when I watched the time go right out the window. Trying to grab hold, trying not to watch, I wasted it all on the hands of the clock. But in the end, no matter what I pretend, the journey is more important than the end or the start. And what it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I
don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind, I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, I so socialized. Like the host of the party, I spoke, shaked, and made eye contact. Partied and told strong arm at Northeast, Southwest Coast. I'm staring out the window, no opportunity to mend up. I tried to sold up, you weaken your system and had to throw it up. I brought you back into things, like imaginary man in your dreams. Dude always seemed to make it worth it. A pigskin, I never nerf it. You felt leather, never pleather, real bringing the pleasure. By any means, it means I'm leaving your team. How long the team made it seems, but I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Linkin Park, remix with motion man. Linkin Park, come massacre. Linkin Park, remix with motion man. Linkin Park, come massacre. One thing, I don't know how. It doesn't even matter when you look at it now. Cause when I designed this rhyme, I was scared of it all. Scared to fall, and hadn't even tried to crawl. But I was forced to run, with you mocking me, stopping me, backstabbing me constantly. Remembering all the times you fought with me. Watch the clock, mouth chock full of hypocrisy. But now your mouth wishes it could inhale every single little thing you said to make things fail. Every single one you sputtered just to get your piece. But it really doesn't matter to me, cause from the start to the end, no matter what I pretend, the journey is more important than the end or the start. And what it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. In the end.
pretending to be where I'm not anymore. A little taste of hypocrisy, and I'm left in the wake of the mistakes, slow to react. Even though you're so close to me, you're still so distant, and I can't bring you back.
It's true, the way I feel was promised by your face. The sound of your voice painted on my memories. Even if you're not with me, I'm with you.
Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes. When you hit me back, we fall to the floor. The rest of the day stands still. Fine line between this and that. When things go wrong, I pretend that the past isn't real. I'm trapped in this memory, and I'm left in the wake of the mistakes, slow to react. Even though you're close to me, you're still so distant, I can't bring you back.
It's true, the way I feel was promised by your face. The sound of your voice painted on my memories. Even if you're not with me, I'm with you.
Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes.
With you.
Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes.
No matter how far we've come, I can't wait to see tomorrow. No matter how far we've come, I can't wait to see tomorrow. With you,
Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes.
with you.
Now I see, keeping everything inside. Now I see, even when I close my eyes.
In this farewell, there's no blood, there's no alibi. 'Cause I've drawn regret from the truth of 1,000 lies. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've done. But to rest what you thought of me, while I clean this slate with the hands of uncertainty. So let mercy come and wash away what I've done. I'll face myself to cross out what I've become. Erase myself and let go of what I've done. I don't know what's worth fighting for, or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate and say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way, I know it's not alright. So I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits tonight. Watching my cure, I tightly lock the door. I try to catch my breath again. I hurt much more than any time before. I have no options left again. I don't want to be the one the battles always choose, 'cause inside I realize that I'm the one confused. I don't know what's worth fighting for, or why I have to scream. I don't know why I instigate and say what I don't mean. I don't know how I got this way, I'll never be alright. So I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits tonight. I'll paint it on the walls, 'cause I'm the one that falls. I'll never fight again, and this is how it ends. I don't know what's worth fighting for, or why I had to scream, but now I have some clarity to show you what I mean. I don't know how I got this way, I'll never be alright. So I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits. I'm breaking the habits tonight. Tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. Don't know what you're expecting of me, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I've become so numb, I can't feel you there. Become so tired, so much more aware. I'm becoming this.
so dark you can't see the end. Skies cocked back, shock at which can't defend. The rain then sends dripping acidic questions, forcefully the power of suggestion. Then with the eyes shut, looking through the rust and rotten dust, a small spot of light floods the floor and pours over the rusted world of pretend. And the eyes ease open and it's dark again.
From the top to the bottom,
At the top I stop,
at the core I forgot.
in the middle of my thoughts.
Taking far from my safety,
The picture's there,
the memory won't escape me.
why should I care?
In the memory you'll find me as burning up. The darkness holding me tightly until the sun rises up.
Moving all around, screaming of the ups and downs. Pollution manifested in perpetual sound. The wheels go round and the sunset creeps behind street lamps. Chain link and concrete, a little piece of paper with a picture drawn. Floats on down the street till the wind is gone. And the memory now is like the picture was then. When the paper's crumpled up, it can't be perfect again.
From the top to the bottom,
Bottom to top I stop,
at the core I forgot.
in the middle of my thoughts.
Taking far from my
The
safety,
picture's there,
the memory won't escape me.
why should I care?
From the top to the bottom,
Bottom to top I stop,
at the core I forgot.
in the middle of my thoughts.
Taking far from my safety,
The picture's there,
the memory won't escape me.
why should I care?
In the memory you'll find me as burning up. The darkness holding me tightly until the sun rises up.
Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you. Now you got me caught in the act, you bring the thought back, telling you that I see it right through you.
In the memory you'll find me as burning up. The darkness holding me tightly until the sun rises up. In the memory you will find me as burning up. The darkness holding me tightly until the sun rises up.
Watch how the moon sits in the sky on a dark night, shining with the light from the sun. The sun doesn't give light to the moon, assuming the moon's gonna owe it one. It makes me think of how you act to me. You do favors there rapidly, you just turn around and start asking me about things that you want back from me. I'm sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you acting like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed while I find a place to rest.
I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand. I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy, a place for my head.
Maybe someday I'll be just like you and step on people like you do and run away all the people I thought I knew. I remember back then who you were. You used to be calm, used to be strong, used to be generous, but you should have known that you wear out your welcome, and now you see how quiet it is all alone. I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you acting like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed while I find a place to rest. I'm so sick of the tension, sick of the hunger, sick of you acting like I owe you this. Find another place to feed your greed while I find a place to rest.
I wanna be in another place. I hate when you say you don't understand. I wanna be in the energy, not with the enemy, a place for my head.
You try to take the best of me, go away. You try to take the best of me, go away. You try to take the best of me, go away. You try to take the best of me, go away. You It starts with
one thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to explain in due time. All I know, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as the pendulum swings. Watch it count down to the end of the day. The clock takes life away. It's so unreal. Didn't look out below. Watch the time go right out the window. Trying to hold on to didn't even know I wasted it all just to watch you go. I kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to be will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
One thing, I don't know why. It doesn't even matter how hard you try. Keep that in mind. I designed this rhyme to remind myself how I tried so hard. In spite of the way you were mocking me, acting like I was part of your property, remembering all the times you fought with me, I'm surprised it got so. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me in the end. You kept everything inside, and even though I tried, it all fell apart. What it meant to me will eventually be a memory of a time when I tried so hard
and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I've put my trust in you, pushed as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. I had to fall to lose it all, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Cannot take this anymore. Saying everything I've said before. All these words, they make no sense. I find bliss in ignorance. Less I hear, the less you say. You'll find that out anyway. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. I find the answers aren't so clear. Wish I could find a way to disappear. All these thoughts, they make no sense. I found bliss in ignorance. Nothing seems to go away. Over and over again. Just like before. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to break, 'cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break. Everything you say to me takes me one step closer to
break. Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up when I'm talking to you. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm about to write everything you say to me. One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. 'Cause I'm one step closer to the edge. I'm about to break everything you say to me. One step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. I need a little room to breathe. 'Cause I'm one step closer to the edge, and I'm about to break. Loneliness, a little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. What I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you to just believe this is real. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here 'cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't take this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. A little bit insecure, a little unconfident, 'cause you don't understand to do what I can, but sometimes I don't make sense. What you never want to say, but I've never had a doubt. It's like no matter what I do, I can't convince you for once just to hear me out. So let go, watching you turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here 'cause you're all that I got. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't take this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. No, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now, hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me.
I won't be ignored. I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't take this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. I can't feel. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored. Time won't take. When I kissed that ring, you lost that right to hold that crown. I built you up, but you let me down. So when you fall, I take my turn and fan the flames as your blazes burn.
You were there at the turn, waiting to let me know. We're building it up to break it back down. We're building it up to burn it down. We can't wait to burn it to
When you fall, I take my turn and fan the flames as your blazes burn.
We can't wait to burn it to
When you fall, I take my turn and fan the flames as your blazes burn.
We can't wait to burn it to the ground. Sometimes I need to remember just to breathe. Sometimes I need you to stay away from me. Sometimes I'm in disbelief, I didn't know. Somehow I need you to go. Don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. What you were changing me into, just giving myself back and don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. Take all your faithlessness with you, just giving myself back and don't stay. Sometimes I feel like I trusted you too well. Sometimes I just feel like screaming at myself. Sometimes I'm in disbelief, I didn't know. Somehow I need to be alone. Don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. What you were changing me into, just giving myself back and don't stay. Forget our memories, forget our possibilities. Take all your faithlessness with you, just giving myself back and don't stay. Stay. wave of tension on top of broken trust. The lessons that you taught me, I learned were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. Paper bags and angry voices under a sky of dust. Another wave of tension has more than filled me up. On my talk of taking action, these words were never true. Now I find myself in question.
They point the finger at me again.
Guilty by association.
You point the finger at me again.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. I'm gonna run away and never say goodbye.
Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I'm gonna run away and never wonder why.
Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I'm gonna run away and open up my mind.
Run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away. Gonna run away, gonna run away.
I wanna run away, never say goodbye. I wanna know the truth instead of wondering why. I wanna know the answers, no more lies. I wanna shut the door and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind. I wanna run away and open up my mind.
Watch them flee. Watch them flee. Watch them flee. Hip hop heads.
You do it like this.
Going down. This is going down. It's going down. This is going down. It's going down. This is going down. It's going down. It's going down. The rhythm projects round. The next sound reflects a complex hybrid dialect now. Detect the mesh of many elements compressed down. The melting pot of a super futuresque style. The combination of a vocal caress with lungs that gasp for breath from emotional stress with special effects. In a distorted collage, carefully lodged between beats of a rhythmic barrage. It's going down. The logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line. To blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. A logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line. To blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record degree. Going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record degree. Going down. Put it on. Let it go like this.
You do it like this.
Going down. Once again it is composed sentences altogether venomous. The four elements of natural force projected daily through the sound of the source. Everybody on board as we blend the sword with the pen. The mightiest the weapon swinging right for the chin. To elevate mental states long gone with the wind. To defend men from shoddy imitation pretends it's going down. Style assimilation readily trekking through the weaponry of a pure pedigree. Cleverly seeing through whatever is ahead of me. Whatever the weather be, we advance steadily. It's going down subterrestrial hot. A rhyme regiment that's calling the shots. Execution of collaborative plots ready to bring the separation of style to a stop. It's going down. A logical progression on the timeline. The separation narrowed down to a fine line. To blur the edges so they blend together properly. Take you on an audible odyssey. Now it's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men to the 10th degree. Going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the Blast off worldwide. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men did the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record creek. It's going down. Put it out for the world to see. LP and X-Men did the 10th degree. It's going down. Nobody in the world is safe when we melt down the wax in your record creek. It's going down. 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 Put it on. It goes like this. Going down.
Do it like this.
Going down. Put it on. It goes like this. Going down.
Do it like this.
Like this. Yo, peep the style and the kids checking for it. The number one question is how could you ignore it? We drop right back in the cut, over basement tracks with raps that got you backing us up like rewind that. We're just rolling with the rhythm, rise from the ashes of stylistic division. With these non-stop lyrics of life living, not to be forgotten but still unforgiven. But in the meantime there are those who wanna talk this and that. So I suppose that it gets to a point where feelings gotta get hurt and get dirty with the people spreading the dirt. It goes,
Try to give you warning, but everyone ignores me.
told you everything loud and clear,
But nobody's listening. Call to you so clearly, but you don't want to hear me.
told you everything loud and clear.
But nobody's listening.
I got a heart full of pain, head full of stress, hand full of anger held in my chest, and everything left's a waste of time. I hate my rhymes, but hate everyone else's more. I'm riding on the back of this pressure, guessing that it's better. I can't keep myself together because all of this stress gave me something to ride on. My pain gave me something I can set my sights on. You never forget the blood, sweat, and tears, the uphill struggle over years, the fear and trash talking, and the people it was to, and the people that started it just like you.
Try to give you warning, but everyone ignores me.
Told you everything loud and clear,
But nobody's listening. Call to you so clearly, but you don't want to hear me.
told you everything loud and clear.
But nobody's listening.
I got a heart full of pain, head full of stress, hand full of anger held in my chest. Uphill struggle, blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing to gain, everything to fear. Heart full of pain, head full of stress, hand full of anger held in my chest. Uphill struggle, blood, sweat, and tears. Nothing to gain, everything to fear. Heart full of pain, heart full of pain, heart full of pain.
Try to give you warning, but everyone ignores me.
Told you everything loud and clear,
But nobody's listening. Call to you so clearly, but you don't want to hear me.
told you everything loud and clear.
But nobody's listening.
I got a heart full of pain, head full of stress,
Nobody's listening.
hand full of anger held in my chest.
Nobody's listening.
Uphill struggle, blood, sweat, and tears.
Nobody's listening.
Nothing to gain, everything to fear.
Nobody's listening.
Coming at you, coming at you, coming at you from every side.
The game before somebody else takes the frame. Put on your name and shame, rock your face. You can't run the race, so please stand too fast. Just
You love the way
you've been free.
You'd like to think you're never wrong. You have to act like you're someone. You want someone to act like you. You wanna share what you've been through. To live what you learned.
Like a riot rocket every revision, but you listen to the tone and the violent rhythm, and know the words sound steady, some empty within them. We say yeah, with fists flying up in the air, like we're holding on to something that's invisible there. Cause we're living at the mercy of the pain and the fear, until we get it, forget it, let it all disappear.
Waiting for the end to come, wishing I had strength to stand. This is not what I had planned. It's out of my control. Flying at the speed of light, thoughts were spinning in my head. So many things were left unsaid. It's hard to let you go. I know what it takes to move on. I know how it feels to lie. All I wanna do is trade this life for something new, holding on to what I haven't got. Sitting in an
is what I wanted to be. I look exactly like what you had always wanted to see. When I pretend, I can forget about the criminal I am, stealing second after second just cause I know I can. But I can't pretend this is the way it'll stay. I'm just
trying to bend the truth.
I can't pretend I'm who you want me to be, so I'm
lying my way from you.
No turning back now.
I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
No turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
No turning back now.
the very worst part of you is me.
I remember what they taught to me. Remember condescending talk of who I ought to be. Remember listening to all of that and this again. So I pretended up a person who was fitting in. And now you think this person really is me. And I'm
trying to bend the truth.
the more I push, the more I'm pulling away. Cause I'm
lying my way from you.
no turning back now.
I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
No turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
No turning back
the
now.
very worst part of you. The very worst part of you. Yes, no.
This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me like this. This isn't what I wanted to be. I never thought that what I said would have you running from me like this. No turning back
I
now.
wanna be pushed aside, so let me go.
No turning back now.
Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone.
No turning back now.
Anywhere on my own, cause I can say
No turning back
the
now.
very worst part of you. The very worst part of you is me.
What do I do to ignore them behind me? Do I follow my instincts blindly? Do I hide my pride from these bad dreams and give in to sad thoughts that are maddening? Do I sit here and try to stand it? Or do I try to catch them red-handed? Do I trust some and get fooled by phoniness? Or do I trust nobody and live in loneliness? Because I can't hold on when I'm stretched so thin. I make the right moves but I'm lost within. I put on my daily facade but then I just end up getting hurt again by myself. I ask why.
But in my mind I find
I can't rely on myself. I ask why.
But in my mind I find
I can't rely on myself.
I can't hold on.
Do what I want when I'm stretched so thin.
It's all too much to take it. I can't hold on.
Same thing, watching everything spin.
Thoughts of failure sinking in.
If I turn my back, I'm defenseless, and to go blindly seems senseless. If I hide my pride and let it all go on, then they'll take from me till everything is gone. If I let them go, I'll be outdone. But if I try to catch them, I'll be outrun. If I'm killed by the questions like a cancer, then I'll be buried in the silence of the answer by myself. I ask why.
But in my mind I find
I can't rely on myself. I ask why.
But in my mind I find
I can't rely on myself.
I can't hold on.
Do what I want when I'm stretched so thin.
It's all too much to take it. I can't hold on.
Same thing, watching everything spin.
Thoughts of failure sinking in.
I've lost so much. I'm so afraid. I'm out of touch. How do you expect I will know what to do when all I know is what you tell me to? Don't you? I can't tell you how to make it. No matter what I do, how hard I can't seem to convince myself. I'm stuck on the outside, don't you? I can't tell you how to make it. No matter what I do, how hard I can't seem to convince myself. I'm
tucked away, no one can ever see. Wounds so deep they never show, they never go away. Like moving pictures in my head, for years and years they've played.
If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made, I would. If I could stand up and take the blame, I would. If I could take all the shame to the grave, I would. If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made, I would. If I could stand up and take the blame, I would. I would take all my shame to the grave.
It's easier to run, replacing this pain with something wrong. It's so much easier to go than face all this pain. You're all alone.
Sometimes I remember the darkness of my past, bringing back these memories I wish I didn't have. Sometimes I think of letting go and never looking back, and never moving forward so there'd never be a path.
If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made, I would. If I could stand up and take the blame, I would. If I could take all the shame to the grave, I would. If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made, I would. If I could stand up and take the blame, I would. I would take all my shame to the grave.
Just washing it aside, all of the helplessness inside, pretending I don't feel misplaced is so much simpler than change. It's easier to run, replacing this pain with something wrong. It's so much easier to go than face all this pain. You're all alone. It's easier to run.
If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made.
It's easier to go.
If I could change, I would. Take back the pain, I would. Retrace every wrong move that I made, I would. If I could stand up and take the blame, I would. I would take all my shame to the grave. All these thoughts and the pain attached to them. Sometimes I wonder why this is happening. It's like nothing I can do would distract me when I think of how I shot myself in the back again. Cause from the infinite words I can say, I put all the pain you gave to me on display, but didn't realize instead of setting it free, I took what I hated and made it a part of me. Never goes away. Never goes away.
And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what I've done. Giving up a part of me. I've let myself become you.
Hearing your name, the memories come back again. I remember when it started happening. I'd see you in every thought I had, and then the thoughts slowly found words attached to them. And I knew as they escaped away, I was committing myself to them. And every day I regret saying those things, cause now I see that I took what I hated and made it a part of me. Never goes away. Never goes away.
And now you become a part of me. You'll always be right here. You become a part of me. You'll always be my fear. I can't separate myself from what I've done. Giving up a part of me. I've let myself become you.
Never goes away. are just too many times that people have tried to look inside of me, wondering what I think of you when I protect you out of courtesy. Too many times that I've held on when I needed to push away, afraid to say what was on my mind, afraid to say what I need to say. Too many things that you said about me when I'm not around. You think having the upper hand means you gotta keep putting me down, but I've had too many standoffs with you. It's about as much as I can stand, so I'm waiting until the upper hand is mine.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, watch it drop.
making the right stop.
Just before you hit the floor.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, missed your shot.
making the right stop.
You think you won, and then it's all gone.
So many people like me put so much trust in all your lies, so concerned with what you think to just say what we feel inside. So many people like me walk on eggshells all day long. All I know is it, all I want is to feel like I'm not stepped on. There are so many things you say that make me feel you cross the line. What goes up will surely fall, and I'm counting down the time, cause I've had so many standoffs with you. It's about as much as I can stand, so I'm waiting until the upper hand is mine.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, watch it drop.
making the right stop.
Just before you hit the floor.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, missed your shot.
making the right stop.
You think you won, and then it's all gone. 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 Now it's all gone.
I know I'll never trust a single thing you say. You knew your lies would divide us, but you lied anyway. And all the lies have got you floating up above us all, but what goes up has got to fall.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, watch it drop.
making the right stop.
Just before you hit the floor.
1 minute you're on top,
The next you're not, missed your shot.
making the right stop.
You think you won, and then it's all gone. 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 Now it's all gone.
I'd like to introduce
leaving him vulnerable to attack.
Mr. Hunt.